What's going on, everybody? We got more Lincoln is Dumb fanfiction for all of you, and we're going to get started right now. So this is Chapter 5, All Aboard the Lincoln Express. A half hour after the OT5 took off, Lori, Lucy, and Lola started to creep downstairs. Lori to get herself some more ice cream, Lucy to make sure to just completely forget about her, and Lola because you can only keep a 6-year-old holed up in a room for so long before he tries to sneak out. To their horror, they found Lynn tied to a chair in the middle of the living room with Luna looming over her with a tire iron, and the rest of the siblings circled around them. "What in the living fuck are you doing?" cried Lori. "Interrogating Lynn," said Luna, slapping the tire iron into the palm of her hand. "Her behavior has become too obnoxious for us to endure," said Lisa. "We are unable to take her constant unending scorn toward Lincoln any longer, so after Luna trounced her in a wrestling match, we took the opportunity to bind her down. Now we're attempting to force her to confess her motivations for treating Lincoln so brutishly." I got Lisa's vocabulary in there, that's good. "I already told you," spat Lynn. "It's because he's a worthless little 90-pound libtard cock." Oh, that's good. "Quiet, dirtbag," barked Lola, who smacked Lynn in the face with a tire iron. Guys, said Lori, trying to push herself into the front of the crowd. "I'm not any happier about Lynn's behavior than you are, but I think if we could just talk things out, we can—" "Hey, Lori," interrupted Lynn, "are you still butthurt because Bobby won't touch your moldy bug-filled snatch anymore?" Oh, ew. Lori shot Lynn a vicious glare as both her hands balled themselves into fists. "Okay, never mind. Kick her ass." "With pleasure," growled Luna, who whacked Lynn in the clavicle. Where's a clavicle? I'm not much of a... clavicle is the collarbone. Okay, so basically in the collarbone, creating a sickening crack that rang throughout the living room, followed by a scream of pain. "We're gonna get an answer out of you, Lynn, whether you like it or not. Lincoln's the most likable person," "I wouldn't say that, "in the history of the human race. Why do you keep bullying him?" "I told you, he's a fucking piece of..." "Well, God's not a thing, Lynn, so I don't know what you mean by that. I'm just kidding." Luna brought the tire iron down hard on Lynn's bound left hand, breaking it in several places. "Ow! Let's see you play baseball now, jerk." "Yeah, or basketball," said Lola. "Shut the fuck up, Lola," snapped Luna. "You want me to make the right one match, Lynn? I suggest you start talking pretty soon." Lynn glowered up at Luna. Her breathing became more labored as she struggled with the effort of suppressing her pain. "Lick my clit, you Rambo dyke-looking..." "Ow!" Luna slammed Lynn's other hand, leaving it in a grotesque mangled mess. "I'm not playing games, Lynn," cried Luna. "You tell me why you're an insufferable cunt to Lincoln, or it'll be your knee next." "Why do you care so much?" yelled Lynn. "He doesn't even have any trophy." "Oh my God!" Lynn regretted her words immediately as when Luna shattered her left kneecap, putting her in worse pain than she'd ever been in before. Lynn let out an ear-piercing, blood-curdling shriek that made her surrounding sisters cringe. "I'd choose my next words carefully if I were you, Lynn," said Luna, as Lynn huffed and puffed in rhythm pain. "Otherwise, you better think of a sport that you don't need hands or legs to play." Tears of agony welled up in Lynn's eyes. "Let me go, you bitch," she choked out. "Not until you tell us the real reason you treat Lincoln like shit," said Luna. "You have until the count of 3 before I turn you into a cripple for life." Lynn snarled at Luna as tears continued to flow. "I don't wanna..." Luna held up a single finger. 1, this isn't fair. 2, Luna, I swear to God, if you... 3, but just as Luna raised her tire iron to deliver one last blow, Lynn screamed out an answer that shook the foundation of this house. "It's because I want to fuck him, all right?" What followed was the most uncomfortable 20 seconds of silence anyone in the family has ever experienced. Yeah, I'd imagine if somebody confessed to wanting to fuck their own sibling, I'd be uncomfortable too. Lynn's outburst had put all of her siblings into a state of catatonic shock. God, I cannot say that word. Aside from Luna, who now bore a grin of smug self-satisfaction. "I do," cried Lynn once she found the wherewithal to speak again every single night. All I could think about is how much I wanted to murder my vagina with his equestrian cock. Ew. I, I, streams of tears and mucus, gross. Felt like waterfalls from her eyes and nose. I thought if I treated him like shit, my desire would go away. It never did. Luna just chuckled, shaking her head. About time you fessed up to it, she said. Lynn, there's something you've got to understand. As she looked down into Lynn's eyes, her smug grin melted into an empathetic frown. You're not alone, she said. We all want to fuck Lincoln. What? We just have to learn to accept that we're not going to get our turn. Gosh, is it because incest is depraved and reprehensible? Gloria asked with a roll of her eyes. No, silly, said Luna. It's because he's taken by multiple side chicks. Between Christina, Molly, Girl Jordan, and of course the OT5, he's never going to have time to fuck us. Not to mention Ronnie Ann, said with a sigh. Luna gave Lynn a confused look. Ronnie who? I don't like Ronnie either, so I'm kind of happy about that. Meanwhile, in whatever the fuck is Stan, the OT5 had just arrived at Lincoln's doorstep. Do you think we can convince him to come back? Asked Sam. If we can't, nobody can, said Haiku, ringing the doorbell. Lincoln answered the door and gave the five girls a stoic grin as he caught sight of them. Oh, hi, girls. Boy, am I glad to see you. Come on in. The family I moved in is totally cool with letting random strangers in. Sure enough, as he walked the OT5 into the den, the whatever the fuck parents and children greeted him with a brief wave and then went back to their own business. So what brings you here? Asked Lincoln. There's something we need to discuss with you, Lincoln, said Paige, as she and the others seated themselves on the circle on the floor. Come join us. Lincoln's smile shrank a little as he sat between Thick QT and Sam. Sure, what's this about? It's about your sisters, said Haiku, and just like that, Lincoln's smile completely disappeared, leaving a bitter frown in his place. Are you serious? He cried. I thought I made it clear I was done with those cunts. We know, said Paige Susan Lincoln with the melodious sound of her voice. I actually don't even remember what she sounds like, honestly. But your sisters miss you. Really, they do. The hell they do, snapped Lincoln. They only want me back so they could bully, abuse, and oppress me some more. I'm talking about a bunch of heartless, gold-digging gutter skanks. I hope they all fucking die. Jeez, man. The QT scooted closer to Lincoln and started rubbing his back. Lincoln, you know that's not true. It is true. Just last week, Lynn gave me a Dutch oven. That's disgusting, actually. That's just gross. The OT5 all gasped and recoiled as they were unprepared to hear Lincoln drop such a bombshell early on in the conversation. They knew that Lincoln had been mistreated, but act so cruel was beyond their wildest expectations. I had no idea your home life was that bad, said Sam, her voice breaking. But there's no reason to forsake all of them. There must be someone in the house you can depend on. She leaned in closer towards Lincoln, gazing into his jaded, bitter eyes. Think, Lincoln, isn't there anyone in the house who you don't see as irredeemable? Lincoln stared off into space, giving himself a moment to mull over Sam's question. Well, there is one person. Who's that? Asked Haiku. She's Luna. She's wild, rambunctious, and her life is totally devoted to music, but she only plays and listens to real music, not garbage like Justin Bieber or Lil Wayne. I don't like Lil Wayne either. Actually, I like his Drop the World song with Eminem, but like other than that, I'm not really a big fan. She's also the only sister who has ever done anything nice for me. Not too long ago, she took me to a smooch concert and made it one of the best nights of my life. Sometimes she gives me dirty looks when I do something bad, so she's not perfect. Like, she never lets me get away with murder like I'd want to. But, she's the closest thing to a real sister I have. Nikki suddenly snapped her head up. Well, sorry, I totally spaced out there. Could you repeat that? And Lincoln just basically repeats what he just said over there, so I'm not going to bother with that. The OT5 all nodded sagely, reminiscing in their own wonderful experiences with the nicest loud sister. The moment of silence was unbroken for 5 straight minutes until Paige decided to speak up. Okay, I'm bored. Let's fuck him. Yeah! The rest of the girls cheered in unison, and fuck they did. One by one, the righteous members of the OT5 let Lincoln plow them with his glorious swan schlong. That sounds weird. Although whatever the fuck family who had never left the room watched in amazement. Don't they have kids of their own and they're letting them watch another kid just fuck 5 people? That's so weird. Most moral men would lack the stamina to go 5 rounds in a row, but for a sexual virtuoso like Lincoln, he's like fucking 12. How the fuck is he how the fuck is he a sexual virtuoso? It was quite easy. In fact, He probably could have gone for 10, if not for the sudden epiphany that struck him while he was doing thick QT doggy style. As soon as he came, the events of the past few days flashed before his eyes, blowing up at Lori, moving the whatever the fuck a stand, kicking Luna in the chin, doing something bad to Lola, I guess. By the time he was finished, he was left with a sobering realization. Holy shit, I'm an asshole! But we're almost done, folks. We got one chapter left, and it's great, like the rest of this fic has been. So I'll see you next time, and remember, stay beautiful, because I'm sure as hell not going to do it for you.